It's John Green. Oh my God.
I apologize in advance if I have to run out because I puke or something. I wish that was a joke. Okay. I want to also thank you in advance for your patience while I drone on, but also because I also want to thank you because I think that you're going to have a lot of say in how both books and human beings fare in the next several decades. And since you have that immense power, I feel as if it's up to you in the hopes that you will treat me mercifully when your time of power comes and my time of meager power has passed. It's why I make video blogs. It's why I run websites and tweet and write books. And it's also why I watch video blogs and visit websites and read tweets and read books. I want to talk with people about stuff that matters to me. And it's rare that we have the opportunity to come and do that in real life, like today. And even when we do have that opportunity, it's kind of scary. So we find other ways. We find textual ways. We find visual ways. I want to talk about the universal yearning for connection and the weird and wonderful and terrible things that that yearning does to us, and why I think books still matter in this media-soaked world. But first, I feel that we should talk about the most fascinating and complex individual I've ever had the privilege of knowing, myself. So I have this 6-year-old son, Henry, and Henry does not care about me at all. He does not even know that I am human, so far as I can tell. He will wake up at 2:30 in the morning and scream, even though that is a socially appropriate time to scream. And even if I explain to him that I would be happy to feed him in an hour, he wishes to be fed now. It seems to me that a central problem of human existence is that we are these skin-covered enclosures that cannot imagine what it is like to be another skin-covered enclosure. I'm stuck inside of my body, inside of my consciousness, seeing out of my eyes. I am the only me that I ever get to be, and so I am the only person that I can imagine complexly. I am the only person who I can know exactly what it's like to be. Henry has the same problem, but he has it to a greater degree than I do. Anyway, that's not really the problem. The problem isn't that I'm the only person that I can imagine complexly. The problem is you. You are always failing to imagine me adequately complexly because you are so busy wrapped up in how purportedly interesting you are. So when I was a kid, not Henry's age older, I believed in this embarrassingly total way that I was the only human being on the planet, and that all the other people, including my brother and my parents and everyone, was in fact an alien, and that the aliens had created this entire alien world to do a series of controlled experiments on how a human child, me, would respond to various forms of trial and tribulation. And like when I wasn't around, they would take off their human costumes. Obviously the aliens had very advanced costuming technology. And they would do alien stuff, like they would watch the alien news, or if I had to stay with a babysitter because I was sick or something, and my brother and my parents would go to the zoo, I would figure that they were going to the alien zoo. And they'd watch the late night alien talk shows and etc. I really believed this. I used to jump out of bed and dart into the living room to try to catch my parents watching alien television. And maybe some of you right now are feeling like, oh, I felt that I was the only human being in the world too, and now here there's someone telling me that they felt that way too, and I feel connected to them, and that makes me believe that I'm not the only human being in the world, and maybe everyone around me is as human as I am. That's possible. But is it also not possible that I was sent here today by my alien masters explicitly for the purpose of telling you that I used to think that I was the only person in the world, and that everyone here is just in a massive conspiracy? It's not likely, but it's possible. It's that number that infinitely approaches zero, but is not zero. And the thing is, in a way, as a child, I was right about this. I was the only person whose existence I could directly attest to. So how is it that we come to believe that other people are also human, that their needs matter, that their joy matters, that their sleep in the middle of the night matters? I think it is through story. For me, it was stories like Catcher in the Rye, The Bluest Eye, Fallen Angels, that were so incontestably true and human that I could not deny all of them. No. So, the phrase paper towns has several meanings in the novel. It's written in 3 sections, and the first section is called the strings, the second section is called the grass, and the third section is called the desert. And in each of those 3 sections, the phrase paper towns has a different meaning. But the third and final and real meaning of paper towns is this. Cartographers, in order to protect their copyright, will sometimes put fake places on their maps. They do this because there's really no other way to tell if someone is stealing your map, because all maps look similar on account of them being maps of places that exist. Said, no, Aglo is real. Because people kept going to that intersection, looking for a place someone built on. And they called it Aglo, the Aglo General Store, Aglo Gas and General Store. It's a gas station, store. This is a very convenient metaphor for writers, of course, because we would all like to imagine that the things we write down can become real in the lives of our readers. I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce had one of the best music videos of all times. Alright, so a lot of you raised your hand and you knew what was going on there. How many of you actually watched that live on MTV? Like, probably very few of you, because there were only 5 million people total who watched it, but within about 24 hours, I would say at least 200 million of the 350 million of us here in the United States were familiar with the Kanye-Taylor Swift saga. That was because of the internet. I don't think that's very good. Needless to say that all of us don't know who. Wait, I seriously forgot her name. I don't remember her name. We'll just call her Missy Ewer. I think it's problematic that we're here gathered together. I wrote a freaking speech with her name in it. We're here gathered together to celebrate literature, and not only do we not know, does anyone remember from 5 seconds ago? Anyway. So after this Kanye West Taylor Swift thing, it's inspired not only hundreds of millions of people to look at that, but it inspired hundreds of millions of more people to look at this amazing series of fake Kanye West moments where Kanye West would interrupt other events in history, and I'll show you some of those. So I'm really happy for you, and I'll let you finish, but last night I had one of the best dreams of all time. Edward, I'm very happy for you, and I'm going to let you sparkle. But True Blood has some of the best vampires of all time. And of course, yo God, I know you're creating the world, and I'm going to let you finish. But Sega had one of the best Genesis of all time. It's really stupid that we care about Kanye West and Taylor Swift, but I would argue that that isn't stupid. And I would also argue that Gary Busey family photo isn't stupid. Let's go back to that. Hey there, Gary Busey. So it's not that interesting that Gary Busey is crazy and has a drinking problem and is kind of sad. It is interesting when the internet uses that fact to create this beautiful family photograph. It's not that interesting that Kanye West is so massively self-involved. It is interesting to put Kanye West in other historical circumstances when you are reminded that that self-involvement, that extent of failing to understand that other people are truly human.